Hello, everybody. It's Thor, and today we're going to be talking about the April 2022 astrology predictions, of course, using Vedic astrology. This month is going to be a very intense month, and if I had 1 month out of this whole year to really say this is an intense month, it would be April. It'd be this month right now. And as I make this video, it's April 4th, and we're right in the middle of a very intense transit at the moment with Mars and Saturn both basically exact right now as we make this video. So maybe that's a good omen, right? But I do predict a lot of changes. There's a huge energy shift happening collectively and happening in your individual charts as well. So be sure when we're talking about these transits, when we're talking about Rahu going into Aries, okay? When we're talking about Saturn changing signs, okay? And Jupiter changing signs, okay? Remember to check your chart, and see how that affects your individual karma. And by the way, thank you for all of you that are attending right now. Thank you, Agatha. It's nice to see you. So let's go to this presentation that I have prepared for you guys. One slide that I don't have in there is Jupiter is changing signs this month, okay? So Jupiter is going to be changing from Aquarius into Pisces this month. So I just remembered that. I forgot to include that in the presentation. But that's so important. So we got all these changes happening. That means we're going to have massive shifts collectively and individually. So let's go take a look. I have a presentation for you guys, like I always do pretty much, just to keep us on course. Also, so you guys can learn Vedic astrology. So that's my hope as well when we do these things. First of all, I want to give you guys the little disclaimer that I use the sidereal Vedic zodiac, not the Western tropical zodiac. And your sign could be different using Vedic astrology. So make sure you check that when you're looking up your sign placements with this. Make sure you check that. And there's some Vedic astrology calculators online. And of course, you know, if you want to get a reading from yours truly, where I can calculate all that using my software and give you a reading, check out down below and you'll see my website. And that's where you can request a reading from Thor. So let me show you the next slide. Of course, guys, if you guys are interested in this stuff, please, of course, like and subscribe. I'm not even used to saying like and subscribe anymore because I'm mostly on TikTok nowadays. So if you guys are interested in TikTok, please follow me there. I'm Thor Sandalwood. I have a Thor Sandalwood channel on TikTok, and also Thor_astrology is my astrology specific TikTok channel if you guys are interested there as well. So please like and subscribe. My goal is 10,000 subscribers. And of course, you guys know where to go if you guys want a reading. Let's get right into it because there's so many changes happening right now. And I already felt the huge changes, especially when I was thinking about, I guess there was this solar flare activity that happened in the last week. And I actually felt the energy shift. I felt like my energy shift. It got to like a higher vibration. Like I feel lighter now. And I feel like a lot of those old resentments and things are kind of lifting off of me now. You guys are probably feeling that too. Even though this conjunction that's happening right now is really intense, I feel like it's for the purpose of healing. So let's go to the next. You know, what I wanted to talk to you guys real quick. I'm sure you guys are very familiar with the quote-unquote world situation. So let's go briefly over it. So world situation, guys, inflation's out of control. It's like 8-10%. It's faster than the wage growth. So that's a recipe for not good things. We got war continuing in Ukraine. No deal's been made yet. There's a strong possibility of more war, and conditions are similar to what happened before World War II, and lots of anger and resentment. So have you guys noticed that? There's just kind of mood of just anger. People are angry. I was up in San Diego a few weeks ago, and you know, I went to the bank, and you know, there was this sign there that said, "Don't yell at the cashiers there." You know, this is a professional environment. Don't yell at them. Don't lose your cool. You know, So that's the environment we're in right now. Like you have to have signs up telling people to stay chill. What kind of environment is that? You guys, this is really weird. And I think you guys are feeling me on this because it definitely doesn't feel right. As far as conditions before World War II, if you guys remember and you study history, you'll notice like, especially if you study like Weimar Republic, Germany, the inflation was really high. The jobs weren't that good. There's all this kind of conditioning happening. We got Russia entering Ukraine, this quest for new territory. So there's kind of these conditions for war, and especially with Rahu being in Aries, it's like people are ripe for like some sort of confrontation, and that's what's worrisome right now. But individually, you don't have to be worried on an individual level. It's not meant to scare you, but you have to be aware too. You can't deny reality. Reality is reality. Okay. So let's go to the next slide here. So let's talk about this Mars-Saturn conjunction because this is really important to talk about, guys. Like we have to look at this. So right now is the Mars-Saturn conjunction. Okay, so we got Mars-Saturn conjunction happening now, April 4th and April 5th, 2022. And this is going to flavor the whole month. Mars and Saturn creates this push-pull tension. Lots of frustration, lots of anger, lots of anxiety. Mars wins the planetary war because of higher degree, because it's going to pass Saturn. And there's going to be a tendency towards explosive events. So you guys got to remember that Saturn and Mars are really two very different energies. We got, Mars, which is hot, innovative, warlike, about conquest. It's young. And Saturn's like the polar opposite. Saturn's a cold planet. Saturn represents old things. Saturn represents old structures. So right now what we're seeing is we're really seeing kind of the collapse of old structures happening right now. And just like I was telling you guys in former videos, if you guys read that book, The Fourth Turning, you'll find out that we're in the fourth turning right now. So the fourth turning talks about these 80-year cycles that the United States is in. And of course, this affects the world, right? The last fourth turning was when World War II happened with the Greatest Generation. And then there were these 20-year segments of different generations, okay? So currently the millennials and the Gen Z, we're like the greatest generation right now because we're going through this massive transition and we're going to be the ones that bring in the changes that are necessary, that are needed. There's a lot of things in the world that are not working. They're simply not working. We look at the wealth inequality. We look at the inflation right now. Everything is kind of revealing itself for everybody now. And the jobs aren't good enough. There's not enough housing, So definitely there's not a fair distribution of opportunity right now. So I know there's a lot of people that go, well, it's because it's your fault, but no, there's not a fair distribution of opportunity, not just ability, opportunity. So that's important. Let's go to the next slide here, and I'll end my rant here on that. So I wanted to talk to you guys also about Mars. So this is a very Mars month, just so you guys know. It's all about Mars, Mars, Mars. That's what I got all over on this all this month. And there's someone asking a question in the chat, so that's why I got distracted for a second. But we're going to answer those questions, by or by not. I'll answer those questions in a minute. Mars enters Aquarius, guys, on April 7th, so that's only 3 days from now, and it's going to be there till May 17th, 2022. Let's take a look at the slide so you guys can write that down in your notes. I'm sure you guys are marking all this in your calendars, right? So Mars enters Aquarius, guys. This is going to flavor the month. We got the Mars-Saturn conjunction, April 4th and 5th, and then all of a sudden Mars enters Aquarius. Okay. This occurs right after the Mars-Saturn conjunction. Aquarius is the natural 11th house, and it rules networks, guys. Mars could trigger cyber attacks because the internet is the ultimate network. Also, unrest could be stirred up with the masses. So when I think of Aquarius, I think of the everyman, the common people, the people that, vastly populate the planet, right? So that's like me, right? So Aquarius, it rules networks, large networks of people. And when you got Mars getting in there, right after this Mars-Saturn conjunction, it has me a little worried, especially because this month is so Mars flavored, I'm like, okay, there could definitely be something going on. The news media has already been putting it out there. There's this danger of cyber attacks, okay? So they're already putting it out there. If you guys read the news, it's already there. So it's already in the consciousness. And so when I see Mars entering that, it shows a possibility of some sort of attack on some sort of network, and the internet cyber attacks would be a possibility of that. Also, I could see a big stock market drop as well, since that represents 11th house can also represent stock markets and places of networks of trade, marketplaces, and things like that. So we could also see a really big drop in the stock market also this month. So this month, I believe it's going to be a really crazy month. Also, unrest with the masses. So we might see people getting a little more angry. There's a lot of anger out there. Now, one thing I wanted to talk to you guys about next was this whole Rahu entering Aries. Last month we talked about it. We talked about Rahu entered the sign of Aries on March 17th. But I wanted to explain to you guys that there's two different camps in astrology. So there's two different ways of calculating the node of Rahu, okay? Rahu isn't a physical planet. So I wanted to describe this to you because it's important kind of have in the background when you're considering what this month of April represents. So let's go to the slide here. So you guys, there's two ways of calculating Rahu. There's true node and there's mean node. They're two different calculations of the Rahu node. And when I told you guys March 17th, I was using true node. Okay, it's two different calculations. However, those that believe in the mean node calculation of Rahu believe that Rahu's entering the sign of Aries on April 12th. So I wanted to bring that up because in a way that adds a kind of flavor to this month. Even if you believe in true node, it still adds to the flavor because Rahu's in Aries. But even if you believe in the mean node, if you use mean node, April 12th, it kind of just throws in more of this Mars energy into the mix here. And Aries is a very explosive sign. Aries represents the outward energy of Mars. It represents war, conquest, but it also represents new innovation. So the next 18 months, I want you guys to also think new innovation. There's going to be a lot of the old structure being, melting away, so to speak. But also there's going to be a lot of innovation with the cryptocurrencies. And I'm planning on doing some crypto videos this month. We're going to do an update on Bitcoin and Ethereum this month. I can't really guarantee the smaller cryptocurrencies this month, but I'm going to try to do Bitcoin and Ethereum update for you guys. So let's go ahead and so anyways, this Rahu and Aries totally it just represents this whole new beginning for the world. And also you want to check with your chart as well. So let me switch slides here because I just wanted to bring that up because I had a lot of debate. I see a lot of debate with astrologers. So I wanted you guys to know about this different ways of calculating the Rahu. Okay, so let's go to the next slide. The next big thing, guys, besides Jupiter entering Pisces, which is going to bring a lot of new energy, Pisces is going to be, the 12th house of the natural zodiac. So expect a lot more strange and mysterious things being revealed through the next year. Maybe there's going to be some disclosure. We'll see, right? But importantly, look at your chart and look where Jupiter goes into Pisces, what house it goes into. But the next big transit, guys, is going to be the Saturn. We got to talk about Saturn. Okay, Saturn is huge. It doesn't even matter what Mahadasha you guys are in. You always got to look at Saturn. Saturn's always important wherever Saturn is transiting. And we're going to talk about this because even though Saturn is changing signs into Aquarius April 29th, the issue is it's only going to be there for a few months and it's going to go retrograde back into Capricorn all the way to the rest of the end of the year. So there's going to be issues that we're revisiting. So let me explain this to you guys. So Saturn enters Aquarius on April 29th, 2022, guys. And that's, again, it's like has to do with networks, right? But it will be there until July 12th, 2022, when it re-enters Capricorn. So look, it's only going to be there for a few months, very briefly. This is because Saturn will be retrograde starting June 4th, 2022, we will get a brief window of Saturn entering Aquarius. Saturn will be back in Capricorn from July all the way to January 2023, guys. So there's something going on with this whole thing. And that's, when I was looking at it, it really surprised me because this whole issue of why is Saturn going to go retrograde? But like we've already been dealing with these Saturn and Capricorn issues for the last 2.5 years. Now we got to deal with more. Okay, so let me rewind you guys back to when did Saturn originally enter? When did it originally enter Capricorn? And that was in January 2020. And you guys remember what happened then. That was right before the pandemic. Okay. And the interesting, so all the way from then until now, it's been in Capricorn. And we've been dealing with pandemics, now war. So all these really crazy things. And then we see that it's going to be it's going to enter Aquarius very briefly for 3 months, and then it's going to re-enter Capricorn because of its retrograde motion. Well, this lends me to believe that there's going to be some issues that haven't been settled with this whole Saturn and Capricorn business. Guys, we're only going to get a very brief glimpse of this Saturn and Aquarius. It's going to be 2-3 months. It's going to be very quick. So, we're going to get a little taste, and then, that's really going to be the preview to what happens in 2023 with Saturn entering Aquarius. But there's something that's left unfinished. There's something involving the pandemic, conflict, war, all these themes we've seen, problems with the government, that's left unfinished. And that's why Saturn's having to go back and almost chill out in Capricorn again for another 6 months. So there's definitely unfinished business. So I definitely see some sort of thing that's causing this Saturn to need to return, because Saturn returns to bring order to things. There's changes in the government needed. There's something needed. So I wanted to go back to the slide. Saturn's going back because there remains some sort of unfinished business with the 10th house of government. This could imply serious changes being made. And anyways, guys, I want to tell you the second half of this year, there's likely to be a revisit of some themes of pandemic, conflict, war, even financial issues. So I do see some sort of negative second half of the year. There's a need to revisit this Saturn in Capricorn, which is reorganizing the government. So like, what's going on there? So it's really interesting to think of. So anyways, I want to let you guys know this month is really the linchpin. Like we're pulling the pin, and it's really going to cause a chain reaction of what's going to really take place the rest of this year. This is the month that the karma changes. You guys, of course, want to check your charts. Check where Saturn is going this month. Check where Rahu's going. Check where Jupiter's going. Check where this Mars-Saturn conjunction is happening. You want to see that so you can get a flavor from your Lagna and your moon sign. Okay? Now I'm going to go to some of these questions. Let's see. I got some questions in there. Let me go to the live chat. Okay, so Buyer by Not says, how are you doing? What software are you using for Vedic? As far as I remember, on the 3rd of August, nodes Mars and Uranus conjunction. I didn't really, when I generated the chart for this reading, I didn't generate the outer planets of Neptune, Uranus, and Pluto. So I'm going to have to look that. We're going to do another update throughout this month as well. Or I can make a video, because I do remember there is something to do with this whole Uranus thing. So we're going to have to look at that, because that is important. Uranus can represent explosive changes, revolutions, all types of things like that. So I'm going to have to look into that, and I might even make a separate video on that. And let's see, I think apart from Mars, Saturn, and Jupiter, Neptune, it is the most important aspect of this year. Oh, thank you, Buyer by Not. Thank you so much for your wonderful opinions. And let's see, Agatha saying aliens. Maybe the aliens, guys. I mean, Jupiter's entering Pisces, and Pisces is the natural 12th house. 12th house has to do with otherworldly things. So maybe there's going to be the big reveal this year. It's a possibility we might see something. But I do want to tell you guys, of course, entertainment purposes only. But I do believe the stock market I believe it's going to do a big tank in the next couple months. And I think there's going to be a lot of instability. But I have good news because I did get a preliminary look at Bitcoin and Ethereum, and I feel like those are going to be strong. I feel like through the end of through this year, I feel like they're going to be two strong cryptocurrencies. And then I have even another revelation, guys. And I'm going to make another video on this. I think Bitcoin is going to be gone in the 2030s. I think it actually won't even be around anymore. So that's going to be the big revelation of Bitcoin. I actually saw the chart and I had a big aha moment when I saw that. I'm like, Bitcoin might not be around in 2030 because it's entering K2 and K2's in the first house. And I'm like thinking, what the heck? What does this mean? And it came to me that this could be that Bitcoin just isn't around anymore. But I don't know about Monero, Agatha. I haven't checked Monero chart, so I might only get to Bitcoin and Ethereum this month, and we'll check out other ones because I did hear Monero is a pretty big cryptocurrency, so we'll have to check that out. Sometimes it's just the birth time issues, and even the birth times I have for Bitcoin and Ethereum are kind of disputed by people. So just so you guys know. You guys, thank you guys so much for joining. Please comment down below. And it was good to see you, Agatha. Good to see you all that were in the live stream. And I wish you guys a really good month. I should be coming out with more videos this month, Bitcoin, Ethereum. So we'll take that. We'll check that out. And you guys have a blessed day, okay? And a blessed month. Many blessings, and I'll see you guys in the next one.